There are about 3, possibly 4 RINOs in the U.S. Senate who are threatening to switch parties and join with the Democrats. That's like threatening us with a good time. These are politicians who should never have been elected once the people of their states realize that they are not for the United States and they do not share the platform of the Republican Party. As of now, they are Mitt Romney, RINO from Utah, Lisa Murkowski, the RINO from Alaska, John Cornyn, the RINO from Texas, and John Thune, the RINO from South Dakota. And if you stick with me through this video, we're going to find out what it's really all about, because what they're telling us is a lie. Let's get into it. These folks have always been liars and dishonest with the American people and with themselves. They have never represented the voters because RINOs are generally selfish little pricks who have no idea what is really going on in the country. For example, we are now in the midst of watching a police state turn our country into a totalitarian hellhole, and these RINO life's losers are worried that they're not getting the love and the respect that they believe they deserve from Trump's GOP. They spend more time trying to be loved by the left, by the misinformation fake news media, and by the Democratic Party. They want to be invited to those DC cocktail parties they're always hearing about. RINOs only worry about what will make them the center of attention, like many other members of Congress, but without having to do the actual work that their constituents demand. Here's the dirty little secret. The Democrats have always despised America, specifically middle-class and working-class families. The difference now is that they no longer pretend to have anything but disdain for them. They locked the country down on the very people who elected them. Instead of working to bring down inflation in a meaningful way, stop the invasion that's going on at our southern border, stop the influx of fentanyl coming into the country to poison Americans, and protect all citizens from government-sanctioned racism coming from the Biden administration, they push for continuing the war in Ukraine, ignore child sex trafficking, and attack Christians for being into a higher power than the government. I have always referred to these types as the Republican wing of the Democratic Party, but now I have a new term. Now I'm going to call them trans Republicans, because that's what they are. They are really Democrats who identify as Republicans. They suffer from ideological dysphoria, which is right up there with TDS. According to The Hill, a number of Republican senators are now declaring that they simply cannot be Republicans if they are obliged to work toward the interests of Republican Party voters. These RINOs have always been uniparty members in D.C. However, now they are saying that populist, nationalist, America First voters are no longer tolerable. You're the ones who are no longer tolerable. You did everything you were supposed to do, and you're the ones who are no longer tolerable. Remember that. The senators explicitly warn that if voters insist that Republicans prioritize American interests, they will simply switch parties and become Democrats. Now, that's not what they're saying, because that would be too honest. But they are saying they don't like America First, those MAGA Republicans. What irritates the shit out of these RINO senators is that people they see as educated and professional are simultaneously wanting a more populist approach to government that represents the people instead of politicians and their families. Whereas everything the despicable RINOs have said is probably their true feelings and their disdain for the American people. But that's not the reason why they're floating the idea of leaving the Republican Party and joining up with the authoritarian Democrats. These RINOs know their days in office are numbered. I think Mitt Romney knows that no one in Utah is going to vote to reelect him. And he's only been in for one term. He is a despicable traitor to the GOP and in many ways to the country in the decisions that he has made. Remember, he voted to remove Donald Trump from office even after we all experienced the horrific way that the Democrats ran the impeachment against Trump. They changed rules. They lied. They withheld exculpatory evidence. They had closed-door secret hearings where they didn't allow Republicans inside. That's what sealed Romney's fate. That stupid fuck thought that the people of Utah were going to consider it heavily and come to a conclusion that he did the right thing. Lisa Murkowski is on her way out too, and so are the other two clowns that were mentioned. The reason they're threatening to leave the party and become Democrats is because they will probably cut a deal with Chuck Schumer that if they leave and become Democrats, Schumer will throw tens of millions of dollars at their campaign. Remember, you can never trust a RINO, and there are selfish little shits who consider every action they take to make sure that it helps them first. All right. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.